Welcome back, everyone. The 11th day in the 11th month is very significant in Nigeria, but specifically and more importantly in Kogi, Bayelsa, and Imo states. Governorship elections will be held in those states. They're called off-season elections because they are occurring the time outside the time that other states have had their own elections. Of course, that's also going to happen in those states because it's also an off-season election cycle state. But the turn of Ondo State is not yet time. It will still be a while before that happens. Now let's talk about Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa states. Over and again, when we have off-season elections in states, there's always been issues of concern, ranging from security to compromise of the electoral umpire to many other issues of concern. What is important in the forthcoming election is addressing those concerns. Recall that the security agencies have also been saying that they will up their game to ensure that there is adequate security before, during, and after the election. It is therefore important for critical stakeholders, including but not limited to INEC, the police and other security agencies, and more importantly, the electorate, to do the needful to ensure free, fair, credible election in this poll. Starting with INEC, there must be the need for INEC to look into how it would ensure that issues of itches recorded in the general elections are improved upon and there's no such remarkable issues recorded in these off-season elections. In Kogi, in Bayelsa, and in Imo, Nigerians will be looking forward to what many have also termed credible election. It will not be credible if not acceptable to the people. It will not be credible if observable malfeasance and misdemeanors are recorded in the election. And so INEC must up its game to ensure that the needful is done in addressing that. What is more, the security agencies must remain impartial, they must remain professional, and then avoid any act of compromise that might want to tarnish the image of the security forces, and that might also be putting a question mark on the credibility of the election. The electorate must avoid every form of inducement. How easy that would be is another kettle of fish, but as patriotic citizens, it's not time for voter inducement. It's time to really vote according to your conscience. Then you might want to say, do people really have conscience? Of course, they still do. Therefore, everything must be done to checkmate all forms of inducement in those elections. What do you think?
Yes, all things needs to be done actually to avoid any kind of inducement. Remember that the money, whatever amount you're given to vote against your conscience on election day would not suffice you for the term that that politician is going to serve in office and the aftermath effects of whatever kind of governance that person brings to bear. And the moment you've taken something, from the politician, you won't be able to say a thing when governance is not going as desired, in your place, probably in your states now, so to speak, because we are talking about Cuba elections here. And there's need to actually vote your conscience. And for the security agencies, they've promised that security is going to be beefed up in those states where these off-season elections are going to be happening. I've asked also to tell the electorates that you just go to your polling booth, follow what is expected, the guidelines, for the elections. Do not engage in anything that could breach the law of the election on election day and all of that. So, Sunday.
Of course, it's quite very important that that must be done so that everything will be done in accordance to what is supposed to be in those elections. Now, let's talk about the state of affairs of the Nigerian nation. It seems that so much still needs to be done in addressing that. Joining us via the telephone is an activist and a social commentator. Mr. Ifeanyi Odili. Good morning. Thank you for joining us via the telephone, Mr. Odili.
Good morning, my brother. Thank you for having me.
It's important to start from the standpoint of the state of affairs in the Nigerian state, especially when we look at the happenings around. are there pointers of hope with the economic situation of the Nigerian state currently as it is?
Well, as it is today in Nigeria, only I cannot say, because I can't see hope. There is no hope. There's what I can say. Let me say it emphatically that I cannot see economic hope anymore, because the worst thing is this: the more we change our leader, the harder the economy. The situation we find ourselves today, nobody envisaged it. Nobody thought about it some months ago. Nobody thought about it. The economy is completely in shambles. People cannot feed. To feed children, to send children to school is not a problem. To even ride your car, many people have parked their cars. That is not a good example of an improved economy. Our economy is totally in shambles. It is nothing to write home about. So I don't know what our leaders
go from here. What do we do? What's been the interventions of, for instance, labor unions? What's been the interventions of elders forum and so on and so forth? Are there ways to look into this matter and provide workable solutions?
The issue has gone beyond the labor leaders. It has gone beyond NSC. It has gone beyond the TUC. It is a problem that will be tackled by all Nigerians. All of us, all the masses. You see, it is time for the masses to wake up from their slumber. It seems that all of us are irresponsible at this stage of our national life. Nobody is talking. You see, it is painful that I am beginning to see one major problem confronting this nation, and that problem is a tribalism. Yes, it is tribalism. If you notice this country very well, you will know that the main activists, the main writers, the main major media houses are in southwestern Nigeria. But since we have been facing this kind of problem, economic problem, a political problem, since our man has taken over the mantle of power, nobody is talking from the southwestern Nigeria. And believe it or you take it, the main activists, the main voice of the masses are based in southwestern Nigeria. So it is not a matter of NLC. Which NLC? NSC that will tell you that we want to go on a strike next week. Before 2 days, they will say, okay, we have reached compromise with the federal government, and they will call up the strike. Yet the problem is still there. They have called for strike more than 2, 3, 4 times. They never embarked on it. The price of fuel keeps soaring. Today, along that road, petrol is around 700 naira. And no NSC is talking. So it is not a matter of labor leader, TUC, NSC, or what have you. All of us, it is the duty of all of us to go to the street and demand for a better future for this country. We need to go to the street and tell these people that enough is enough. Any democracy that will take away food from people's table, any democracy that will introduce hardship to the society, that democracy should pack its load and get out of the.
If you're talking about going to the street, it's important to also state that such must be done within the ambit of the law, and that takes us to Imo State, where a protest went gaga, and it led to the manhandling and the brutality against the Labour Union president, talking about NLC President Joe Ajaero. For you, what does that attack, as it were, signal to the Nigerian polity and labor movement in the country?
That tells you that we are in the hands of rascals.
Maybe we use mild words, please. Don't let's use strong
words. So I'm sorry. Let me say we are not in the hands of a civilized people. As mad as Abacha was, he did not beat up NSC president then. As maradonic and terrible as IBB was, he did not beat up NSC president. It was in democratic setting we have seen governors beating up NSC president, detaining them. I remember the other time when they detained the NSC president in Kaduna. They rounded them up and put them in one of the rooms there. This one is Imo State, purpose of them beating up NSA president. So that's what I'm saying is that aside, he has been beaten and agreed. But if all of us moved to the streets, there is no governor, there's no policeman that will say, okay, let us go and crush over Akure, took over Nigeria during the reign of Jonathan. They were unable to quell it until they went and they implored and make use of a driver union association to confront us with pump actions. That was why we were dispersed along. We were dispersed at a cathedral here. So, my dear brother, the man has tried. He went to Imo State to demonstrate. He has his own fault there. In Imo State, there is NSC there. There is NSC chapter there that could have confronted the Hopus of the man. The NSC president has more vital national issues in his hand he ought to have been contented with than rushing to Imo State. There are a lot of national issues, pressing issues he ought to have faced, not he go rushing to Imo State to go and confront one governor. All of us are guilty of all these things. We are all guilty.
All right, we are all guilty. I like that. So, since we are all guilty, where do we all start, righting our wrongs?
Righting our wrongs.
Yes.
Come again, my sister.
I said you concluded that we are all guilty. And also in your comments earlier, you mentioned that it is everybody's responsibility to fix the country as it is. So where do we start righting our wrongs?
Where we should start from is we should begin now to reject any government that is not pro-masses. Okay. Any type of government that is not pro-masses. It is our general duty to ensure that all of them are wide off. We go to the streets, I repeat. We did it in the days of Abacha. We did it in the days of Babangida. We are still alive. All of us have not died. Yes, they killed some of us, but we are still alive. Things were not as tough as this in those days. We should go to the streets. Let us reject the bad governance.
All right. While you're clamoring for lawful protests, I like to put that you're talking about.
Yes, I agree with you. Lawful protest. Lawful protest. Yes.
We need to place that in proper perspective so that.
Thank you, my brother. Lawful protest.
Lawful protest to do the wrong thing. Now, talking still about the Imo State scenario, there is the argument in many quarters that the NSA president ought to know better not to have gone to Imo State for that engagement, seeing that there was a subsisting court order against such protest, and that shouldn't have happened. But then, as there are also some saying that the NSA president is a Labour Party member, and many are of the view, and many rightly so, that is a watery defense for such attack. What do you say?
Now, you have said there was a court order, isn't it, restraining them from going on strike? Yes. If I were the president of NSC, I would have shelved the protest because there's a court order. I wouldn't have gone there. I am a man that believes so much in the rule of law.
Very well.
So it was wrong for him to go there in the first place. It was also wrong for the state police or corpus of Medina to beat him up. What they ought to have done was to arrest him if you know that he has violated.
Are you sure it was Opus Odima that instigated the beat up, so to say? Because the government of that state has come out to say that it has no hand in what happened.
My brother, we are in Nigeria.
Very well.
I know how governance is run. So there is no way a policeman will just go to the street or talk. We go to the street and pick NSC president and beat him up without the approval of the governor. No policeman can just pounce on me here without the approval of the state governor here. That I went to the street, so he will just come and confront me along the street and start beating me. The governor will have to approve it. So the governor cannot tell me that is clean, that is innocent of what happened to Ajaero.
Okay.
But I'm still saying it that the man erred by going to the streets when there was court order.
Is it therefore now enough for labor movement to say it's going on nationwide strike because of the brutality
it is not enough.
President?
It is not enough. It is not enough. There is no fuel in Nigeria. They are not protesting about that. There is no food in Nigeria. Everything is skyrocketing. They are not protesting about that. You want to protest because they beat up. Do you know how many times they are beating me up? Me. Do you know how many times I've been detained? So, in fact, there was another twist to it. I learned that they want to fly the NSA president to abroad for medical treatment. For what? That is another corruption. All of us are saying that we should have hospital here. Nobody should travel abroad for medical treatment. And they are proposing that the NSC president will go to America or whatever, wherever, abroad for medical treatment. So if he falls down from Okada, so the next thing he will do is that they come and take me to America. Yeah. All these things are GPT 419.
Given the circumstances surrounding why it needs treatment, maybe don't you think people proposing this might be considering it from the angle of security for his life?
What type of security? If they want to kill anybody, did they not arrest Nnamdi Kanu outside Nigeria? There is no part of this country you want to hide yourself. If government wants to pass on you, they will pass on you anywhere you are. It is government we are talking about. We are not talking of Oshodi, whatever. It is government. They can pass on you anywhere. So I want to go to America to go and treat myself. It is 419. It is another way of swindling the labor union. It is another way of corruption. What has happened to him? They beat him up. Yes, fine and good. Is there no hospital in Imo State? Is there no hospital at Abuja for him to be treated?
What becomes of this matter? NASU is calling for a probe into the incident. Many other people are calling for a probe into the incident. And they're also saying that there must be a way and manner where the Imo Commissioner of Police will be removed or redeployed, whichever coinage suits the matter. And for you, does that solve the problem? Does that address the inclination to brutality?
It will not. It's like you are the wicked man, the wicked man. It will not solve it. You will not say, IGO, come and remove me as CPO, because CP carried the order given to him by his state executive. It will not. The only thing I think they can do is to sue Inspector General of Police and the Imo State government to court and claim damages for beating the man. Even at that, how many people have been awarded in the court that go and pay so fine? How many people have been paid? How many? Go to court, sue federal government, and let them rule in your favor. And let's see if they will pay you that fine, the damages we are claiming. We are in a situation, we are in a country that I don't know. I don't want to use another terrible language from our dear nation.
Please don't.
I don't want.
Now, going forward, what should be the preoccupation in the minds of the labor movement? Many have also talked about what they termed criminal silence of labor movement in the face of skyrocketing prices of commodities, untold, unprecedented inflation in the
NSC, the trade union, the labor union, they should preoccupy themselves with clamor for a better Nigeria, clamor for a good package for their workers. Nigerian workers at state level, minimum wage is about 30 or 40. Let me put it 40. Okay, let me make it 50,000 naira. No civil servant goes to office less than 2,000 naira per day. How do you want them to solve it? They should preoccupy themselves with this.
All right. They've been clamoring for this. There've been certain times, warning strikes here and there, court injunctions and all that. And this seemed not to be sorting the issue. So what else do you think the labor union can do, to get their government to do what is right?
My dear sister, let me tell you, the labor union at times, if you look at them critically, it seems that they are also compromised. They have compromised. You are giving warning strike. What is the meaning of warning strike? If you want to strike, strike. If you don't want to strike, go and sit down. What is a warning strike? Okay, you are giving warning strike. After the expiration of the warning strike, they will call you into Osrc. You will dine and wine with them there. You will the devil we are talking about. You dine and wine with them. Nigeria will be saying you laughing, coming out of Osrc, laughing. and you are telling us that you want to stage you want to call for a genuine strike. It is fake. It is fake. The NSC of today has compromised. Their leadership have compromised.
What are the indices you could point at to arrive at compromise in the modus operandi of the NLC, nay, labor movement in general?
Come again, please.
What are the indices? What are the pointers you see to make you allege compromise in the operations of labor movement?
Thank you. I remember in 2012 when we occupied Akure here because of a fuel subsidy removal. We occupied the whole Akure. I think some of you are aware. The people that thwarted our effort, the first people to pull out of the strike, out of the protest, was NSC. When we, the Campaign for Democracy and other human rights organizations, refused to leave the streets, they collaborated with a driver union and used compassion to chase us away from the streets. That is number one. Number two, I remember the previous chairman of NSC, president of NSC, he was telling my friend that he is bigger than, that he can no longer, he cannot imagine himself using a four-plug car, that I am now riding on V8, that I cannot ride on small cars. NSC president is saying that. Where did he get the money? To ride heavy cars. That we are abusing the National Assembly today, that they are using our money to buy costly cars. NSC is doing the same thing. I don't see them as people who can liberate this country. It is only Nigerian masses that can troop to the streets, just like we have in the days of June 12th, and just like we have in the days of NSAS. That is what we can do, I feel, that can save this country from the present quagmire or conundrum we have found ourselves today. Not NSC.
Before we let you go, Comrade Odili, I'd like to know your thoughts about the forthcoming off-season elections in Kogi, Bayelsa, and Imo State. Many concerns have been raised about what should be the professional conduct of everyone, also the disposition of the electorate to having free, fair, credible election. What will be your counsel to everyone?
The people of Kogi and other states should make sure that they have the right people, the right person there. They should not go and vote money. If they give them money, fine, collect their money, but vote your conscience. I will also advise that the body, what is it called, INEC, should be fair enough, not like the one we had in the past. It should be fair enough to conduct free and fair election and declare the real winner. Not after the election, you go and subvert the wishes of the people. No. Okay. The people should some money. But if peradventure they collect the money and vote your conscience. Vote your conscience, for God's sake. Don't vote money. Money, you will collect it and it will finish. If they give you 1 million naira within 6 months, 1 million will vanish. But your problem persists. The trouble persists. The hunger persists.
Comrade Ifeanyi Odili, I have to thank you so much for sharing your time with us on the program today, this morning. Thank you for joining us via the telephone. I understand it was for obvious constraints that you couldn't make it up to the studio. Thank you so much.
God bless you, my brother.
All right, everyone.
God bless you.
Thank you so much for being part of the Outlook this morning. It's been an engaging engagement. Of course, we thank you for being part of it from my colleague.
Yes, we just want to say, do have a pleasant week and be mindful of the situation of the country.